Hang on, give us a second. We got ready, he walked out. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's SPLOST 9 work session. Madam Clerk, before we get started, we have to give a special warm, I guess, happy birthday wishes to our commissioner who serves, who's here today, Commissioner Wayne Guilfoyle. Happy birthday, sir, on behalf of the city. Thank you for spending your birthday here in the beautiful Augusta Richmond County Municipal Building, sir.
It's just another day.
Okay, you got it. Madam Clerk, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We'll turn it over to our administrator, Ms. Dowse.
Thank you for that, Ms. Bonner. Commissioners, we're here today, as you know, to hear our second presentation regarding SPLOST recommendations, or what has already been presented from department directors to the Finance Department from a SPLOST 9 perspective. And today is our infrastructure presentation, of which we will hear from the Engineering and Environmental Services Department Director, Dr. Hamid Malik.
Good afternoon. I have a PDF presentation because I was not able to fit in the PowerPoint. It's too many, so I have around 31 pages, but some are the captions. The first one, which is on display, is the summary of the engineering request for SPLOST 9. Then I have some key supporting document demonstrating the need for the funds to do the needed work or provide the needed services. So the first one I have, which is really captioned as a grading and drainage stormwater, but that is part of the stormwater utility program, and the program was established in 2016. 25 million or 5 million a year were included as a part of that planning to come up with the fee of $6.40. So that's what, we're including it. All this money goes into the capital improvement, and I will show some of the pictures on the line. The other one is our road resurfacing or paving, which we have ongoing program to pave our roads, and we have a lot more requests than demand for the road paving. Then the funds are being allocated, but we're working through it for the past few years, and it really is because of stormwater utility resurfacing funding. Every year, engineering was able to kind of bump up. So, but I will go a little bit more detail later. I have a few slides on the payment assessment on that. Then I put it on the streetlights upgrade request here, because we are in the process of negotiating or bringing Georgia Power on board to do the audit and assessment of street lights and come up with a plan of upgrading those lights. So there will be some initial investment, and they will buy out. So we already have the agenda item somewhere in the system to bring it, award that contract with the commission to start with the audit. And then moving on to then, like East Augusta, there are several projects. Really, we need to make effort to close that out and get it constructed. I think East Augusta been in the design and construction almost 20 years now, and we are at the phase 4. There are phase 5, 6, 7. There is some money already allocated, but this is additional money, which we think should get us to the finish line on that. Then we do time to time have a need for on-call construction. So it's just kind of as a needed basis on that. Then the other item is the subsurface utility and manholes adjustment, because lately, we get a lot of calls, damage to the cars while manhole not adjusted. So engineering kind of requesting as a dedicated allocation, and we can create another project and get those manhole adjusted. Those are the mostly utility manholes, but since in the roadway, engineering has to address the concerns with that, and really it's with the age of the structure and compaction around it, so it's settled. And engineering is working, come up with another standard detail to prevent this, which basically is some sort of concrete box or the circle around it, so it won't settle that way around that. Then sidewalk repairs, this is the ongoing, again, maintenance issue. We do have, a lot of sidewalks that needs repair, either through the root system or with the aging on that thing. The other one is the other project, Walter projects is under design right now. There was $1 million allocated to the construction, but it's going to need more. It's going to go into construction. It'll be ready for construction in 2026. So that's the request for that. Wilson Garden, Hyde Park, and another project, I will say maybe like 16, 17 years now, is ready to go in construction, and there's some money there, and plan is to get actually the bid out or partial bid out, depending on what the money is. But additional funds will enable us to, again, get this project to the finish line. The other one is Alice Street. Engineering did some improvement as a part of the downtown project, I believe from 13 to 10, but then 10 to 6 or onward, it need more work and improvement there. So that's what the request is for that. Willis Furman Road, this is a very large project, 6 miles from Greensbridge Road to the Peach Orchard, and the construction cost, present construction cost is $40 million. It's a federal funded, so but is it kind of 80-20 match, or we can get all the federal funds that are available, and the rest we have to match. So right now, in our assessment, we'll be short around $8 million, and that's what this request is to. That project is scheduled to go in construction 26, but it's going to go like 27 all the way up to 28. Then lake dredging and maintenance, we have to keep up with our water bodies to get the sediment out, and so we get complaints on the flooding and all that. And I appreciate the commission allocating some money in the previous SPLOST, so we're able to dredge 4 main water bodies, not only create more storage for during heavy rain, but also improve the aesthetic of the neighborhood with that. Flat ground structure, really, we have, engineering has 3, the levee, which is 11.5 miles, and the 2 regional detention pond at Riceboro Road and Lake Olmsted. The levee has several structural deficiencies identified by the Corps of Engineers. They do periodic inspections, and Cranston Engineering is working on the design and all that. So some of the gates, raised gates in the levee, they need to be repaired. There are some other sediment around the walls and all that. So they are not serious in nature, but if not addressed over time, it can be a serious issue on that. Another is other project, Rocky Creek, which is really flood mitigation, flood risk reduction project. Again, this project is in design. There is money there. The additional funds engineering field. If we get that, we can get this project in Fish Line. That project starts from Nolan Connector, North Lag, and going to be all the way into the back of the Regency Mall or Deansbridge Road. It will include 2 regional detention facilities with the option of recreational features, so public can also use that area for for recreational purposes. And then drainage improvement supplement. This is what right now engineering has 4 projects: National Hill area, Forest Hill area, Turpin Hill, Lenny Walker, and Goshen. It's under engineering design, but it's moving very slow because the money is not there. So if we get these funds, we can get engineering design to bring it into the construction phase design, and hopefully we get that thing, because especially Turpin Hill area need very extensive engineering work and system assessment. That's one of the oldest area which was combined sewer, and the way it was separated is creating a lot of issues, and we heard a lot of concern, not only from constituent, but some of the elected officials on that. The tree management, that's a standard request. That's the only funding source engineering has to keep up with the trees management, removal, pruning, other things. So we have a small request for emergency design if something we have to address on an emergency basis. It's always good to have some sort of conceptual drawing to give it to contractors so we can get a better pricing on the construction on that. Then same as the right-of-way easement. There are always easement needed, right-of-way needed. All work engineering does. So that's what happened. Then the traffic operation is basically we need that money for the traffic work, like signals, all that. This is the operational function of the traffic. I do have requests under traffic safety too. So yeah, the traffic safety deal is 12 million. But basically, there's a list at the end, and there's some more in that. Doing the assessment of several intersections and construct the roundabout or some sort of traffic management control. And so that's what that request is for on that. The other is the bridge rehab. GDOT does every other year bridge. So time to time, GDOT did notice deficiencies in that, like a maintenance times. So that's the money, because if you don't maintain what's observed, then that deficiency can become a significant defect, and then it's going to take a lot more money to repair on that. Then we have the NPDES permit, which is our MS4 permit requirements. Had a lot of requirements from engineering aspects of like mapping, inventory, all that. Again, there's not enough money in stormwater utility program to support what's needed to be done on that. And then, the second last, I have a matching request because, again, federal fund normally has 80-20 match. So if there's no match money there, you can't go offer the federal funds or apply for the federal funds, because even you apply, you get it. You won't be able to really deliver the project because the local match is not there. And the last one is it's kind of captured in engineering administration, but this is where engineering maintenance workers are part of that program. Their salaries, some equipment comes out of that. And one of my suggestions I made in the previous work session on the grass cutting, all that. Some of the warden can also be work detail supervisor can also be included should be paid. So that will relieve the stormwater fee burden, which is, right now around 370, but I think going to go up with the salary go up. So that's the kind of overall summary. So request is 178,700, and I'm going to go through some of the slides if I can get it work. Okay. So this one, I have 2 slides about the drainage infrastructure and maintenance. So as you can see, this is basically, city has aging infrastructure, and we have stormwater pipe failures all over the place. On average, we get maybe 2 or 3 in a month. So these are 3 different locations. It's not only the pipe fail, but the banks and all eroded. The bottom left slide, actually, that bank is almost 50 feet where the pipe is. So not only now we have to replace the pipe, but we had to build back that bank up, and that's roughly, right now somewhere really is going to be $1.5 to $2 million work to get that thing back, because the property owner who is adjacent to that, 20% of his yard also got, eroded, and it's not there. The top one is where we have a creek, and the creek is eroding the bank, and it's begin to encroach into that property owner. So actually, that one we right now working with the core permitting process. But again, the work we just did at Morningside Drive and Sandpepper, that was around $1 million each to get that bank approach. The other one is over Pepperidge subdivision. I think that didn't show up on this one. Yeah, so then, this slide is a aging infrastructure. Let's see if we can get that. Okay. The top one is, the carbon gutter really is a drainage issue. So it's basically aging infrastructures. The drainage money going to go that. And the bottom one is the recent sinkhole, road collapse, waterway, Windsor Code, where there are multiple lines there, some sewer, some storm, all other, and it's very deep. So at this point, really, we don't have a dollar amount on the repair of that one. The next one is that this where the 50-foot washout and the pipe. This is the repair design for that. So right now, that's the pipe. You can see that the straight line going there. But either we had to put a sheet pile where the solid line at the bottom. We're looking into that, but that may be cost prohibitive in terms of this repair, $2-3 million. So we're looking at bringing more dirt and so working through it. But again, it's very expensive repair, and it's caused by the aging infrastructure. All right, so I have some technology issue. Yeah, don't one. I use this thing.
But it was working.
Thing right there, yeah. Okay.
Trying to go to the next one.
Yeah, the one first before that, one up. Okay, yeah. So this is gives you a general idea what engineering is actually really working right now. There are a lot more than, but I put like 13, and the bottom actually is 3 or 4. We actually working on this to get these lines repaired and do improvements. So collectively, this probably gonna take like $7 to $8 million to get all these done, and our goal is to finish that up as soon as we can. This other challenge is to get a contractors. So we do have engineering does have money in the SPLOST 8, but after we complete that, all money will be gone actually. So, yeah. Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I think no, we got paper. Okay. So I just gave you a general idea. I just mentioned on the stormwater utility how it was set up on that. So it. Yeah. So on the third. The third block where it says highlighted SPLOST CIP 5 million each year. That's what 25 million was built in to come up with this $6.40 unit rate. So I just want to kind of update you all how this 640 was developed and why that 25 million is important. That's in the request on that. So next one is our road paving, the road condition assessment. Engineering is working, and we're coming back to the commission to give kind of full report. But the top, it shows, preventing maintenance, how you can extend the life of the road. Instead of let it deteriorate, and you have to do that. The bottom one is showing it's going to get, it's a rough data. It didn't go through the quality assurance, but it's showing percentage of Augusta roads where they fall. And PCI is the Pavement Condition Assessment Index. That's a standard industry. They just have a 0 to 100 numbers. So anything above 85 is excellent condition. 70 to 85 is poor, very good. 60 to 70 is good, and 50 to 60 is fair, which is yellow, and then 40 to 50 marginal, and red is, poor to very poor. So the next one actually is a summary. The consultant was given that, assume that engineering will have 6.5 million every year to keep up with the roads. But the assessment is that if it's 6.5 every year, our road condition is going to slide back where they are now, which is around kind of 52. It's going to slide back 53. So we're recommending to keep our condition under the today's condition, keep our road under today's condition. Really, they recommended at least we need to have 12.8 million per year to even keep the condition of the road the way we have now, and then do the, so that's why road paving funding is very critical. Then the next slides are about East Augusta. So these are the various phases of East Augusta. As you can see, the phase 1, 2, 3 are complete. The Azalea, Brunswick we can call it complete. We're going to the punch list of that. But then Hornsby, it's ready for construction. And engineering is working on finalizing the easement right away. So hopefully we get that to construction, at least for the bidding this year. But then there are other phases. So that's what the request is, to add more funds to that so we can close this East Augusta drainage completely out, And then the next few slides are really boundaries of these different projects. Yeah. So this is phase 4 project area. And then the next one is phase 5, Telfair, Jonica on that, and then is the East View on that. So just give you a general idea. And the last one is the Riverside Park area on that. The next one, just I have requests which we don't have previously, but added that. This is what the subsurface utility and manholes are, because over time, the area around the utilities are settling and creating, road hazards and some other failures. So if the money is in the engineering, then we can go ahead and complete this. If it's a private utility, they're very responsive. They will get it done. But if it's water and sewer, then we can work with the AUD. But since in the road, we like to just go ahead and get that done. The next few slides are the projects we have. This is the Walton Way projects, which is in design, final design right now. It does include the roundabout at Hickman, where the Patridge Inn is, and this should be ready for going into construction end of next year. So it's again, this one on Monsanto. Engineering is working on to get both under construction in 2026. This one is a Willis Farmer Road, some selected segment of that. So it's 2-lane. It's going to be 3-lane with the middle of that, a dual, in and a turn lane. So, and intersection improvement with signal and all that. And it's going to have a multi-use path on that, like we have on the Wind Spring. So this is a standard detail for the Willis Farmer at 3-lane on that. Next one, the Rocky Creek project, I requested. So these are the two major areas where we're going to be working. So this one is off the Village Road and Gordon Highway beyond the Agency Mall. Where we're going to have a regional flood storage facility, but it will have a recreational feature built around it. And also, intent is to extend the Regency Boulevard all the way to the Village Road, to have another connectivity for that road. Next is the second part of the same project, which is that's between North Flag and Nolan Connector. So that's the upper part of the Rocky Creek. So, for that, his objective is to control or detain that water that coming from upstream into this facility, and then have a control release so downstream water can already pass through. So that will minimize the flooding risk downstream, which we see. The next is Wilson Garden project. Just the general boundary of the project is more or less from Tubman Home to Olive Road, Gordon Highway, on that area. So that project has its own challenges. It's a flat, but we have design ready. It will improve the drainage to the extent as possible. The last one I have is some of the key traffic operation. But there are a lot more into that. But this is some of the intersections we need to work on to improve the safety, like roundabout and all that. And there are other more. For example, one is not there, Camellia and Walton Way, but that's on, engineering top priority to get that roundabout in design and then construction. So with that, I conclude, my presentation or sharing, and any question this body may have.
Thank you, Dr. Malik. I have a question coming from Commissioner from the 10th, Commissioner Wayne Guilfoyle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Dr. Malik, thank you for presenting this. This package that you bring before us touches every district, and it goes after the issues like in East Augusta, where we've been having drainage problems forever, and hopefully we could get to some kind of resolution. The Wilkerson Garden that you had up for the drainage, how are you going to do the drainage in the flat ground? If you could explain that to me.
Yeah, so we will try to retain the water in the pipes. We're going to pipe the ditches, all that, and that's what all the water. Then we try to get to the our original facility. We're going to build at the Hyde Park area. That's what engineering work with other department to relocate that. It's going to be slow release, but the goal is to get that water in the pipe on that, so reduce the flooding in the surrounding area that way.
Okay, so once it leaves Wilkerson Garden, it slides into Hyde Park, is that right?
Yeah, so all the, that's the original facility. That will take this water and other improvement which may be done, actually. Personally, I have other idea what I'm working on to, if we can bring the Rocky Creek itself and build the, what I call the flood relief channel from Rocky Creek to the Hyde Park, which is, there is 2 foot positive grade. Then we can reclaim that area between the Rocky Creek and Hyde Park, which is really a prime industrial area, but right now that's in the floodplain. So we can, like a levee, it's really not a levee, but it's a flood channel. So if we can get the water into this area, and then that area can put back, because that's, in my opinion, that's the prime area. You got the railroad track there, you got Gordon Highway, you got I-520 and Bobby Jones, you got airport right there, all that. So that's kind of really good.
Okay, and we still have houses still standing in Hyde Park, is that right?
Yeah, there are a few structures still there. Past 2 months, I'm working on that, really what's there, and if any pending acquisition of those, because a lot of the property, they don't have a clear title. And I came to the commission, I think last 2-3 meetings, there was 6 condemnation. That's really was related to the have a clean title. So that's the only way we have then condemn them.
Right.
So yeah, I'm actually working on past 2 months on this to see what's there, and then whatever houses left, we're probably gonna do as a part of the overall project construction. But there are a few others just are there, still there.
Okay. We still have, we always discuss street lights during budget, that the bills steadily adding up. But we continue to leave the lights on in Hyde Park when nobody's living there. That's odd. Do you know why?
I had to check. I can work with John and his group to check on that. And yeah, those lights should have been cut off.
It's been quite some time since Corey Johnson been up here when we actually moved forward with Hyde Park, as well as Grady Smith. Let's talk about the road repaving. That, I think you had 30 million, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 30 million. How many roads does that take care of? And does that touch in everybody's district? Because I don't know about my colleagues, but number one complaint is potholes, roads, and we definitely need to make sure that we put money in the SPLOST package, that we do take care of the engineering department for the infrastructure and the roads to be paved. But the roads to be paved, do you have that, a list that it should disseminate throughout the whole county? Would that be right?
Yes, sir. So I do have a running list, and I can send it to Ms. Dawes, and she can share with that. But right now, actually, engineering already put the bid out to the procurement for that will cover 2024 and 2025, and that's closing on June 28th. That include roads. We didn't grouping, but actually include almost all 8 districts, requests from the commission, all that. That bill, our estimate is going to be like somewhere $16 to $18 million work, because it's covered 2 years in the request.
Right.
So that will use up all the money in SPLOST 8 we have. Because the question may come, your money sitting there, why you need more. But that's yeah.
Dr. Malik, I noticed that you got Willis Foreman Road on here. I travel it to work and from work. what constitutes the widening of that road? I need to talk with Commissioner Mason since he represents that district as well as including Francine Scott, Super District Commissioner. So what warrants the widening of Willis Foreman Road, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so that road is, again, the connector to the Fort Eisenhower Gate 5.
Right.
And it's actually on, recently was put on the, I think, country defense road list, something like that. It's important for the defense. And also, that's the only area left where the growth going to happen, like undeveloped area. So original plan was 85 lane. We went through very extensive public meetings, and the elected official was involved from both, local side, state side, all that, and the citizens. And that, at the end, we settled with 3 lane because nobody really liked that 5, 2 and 2 in the middle of 1. So that's what it is. But the bulk of the money going to come from federal funds. It's $5 million design, 80-20 match. So that's already taken care of. Right now we're in right-of-way phase. That is $8.5 million. Again, that is 80-20 match. Our match probably be a little bit short, but we can work it out somehow, I think we need other $700,000 when the time comes. The previous commission did approve partial funding in the TIA, so there's the money in the TIA, because construction itself is around $40 million. So if TIA has 20, so that's what we need other 20, working with the MPO and GDOT. So right now, there is about $8 million they have there. And we also in discussion with the GDOT commissioner and others to see if they can find additional federal funds, not through the MPO or others, to reduce the local burden. But back to your question, really, that's the improvement is needed because all the growth going to be on that area.
Right. You used the term growth when you come down Deansbridge Road. You take a left on the Willis Foreman Road. The land on the right-hand side is going to be considered wetlands because that's what you have over there. Probably your last half mile before you hit Winston Spring Road, both on the left and the right would, be subject to growth there. Is there anything in this package for infrastructure for continued growth? Do you have any utilities in here whatsoever, or any sewage, stormwater, et cetera?
Yes, sir. We have stormwater as utilities, and we are sharing and in discussion with our, utility department in West Bond to see that. But most of the sewer is, I think, served off the road on that. So, yeah, but whatever will be in the road utility-wise is included, but most of the sewer, my understanding, is really not served within the right-of-way. They're coming somewhere on the big back roads through the neighborhoods. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I see some other commissioners in the queue, so I'm going to hold back and follow-up questions. Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Stacy Pulliam.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Dr. Malik, for your presentation. My questions start with kind of a follow-up to what Commissioner Guilfoyle was asking. As far as the repaving, what is the target goal for the number of roads to be repaved and the number of potholes? Do you have a target for each year?
So the target really varies depending on the dollar amounts. So pothole, we're addressing pothole once it reported to engineering. Our goal is to get that repair in 24 hours, if not definitely 48. I think the challenge is when somebody says a pothole, probably 60-70% of the time is really not a pothole. It's probably the depression because the utility failing or something else, and that takes a lot longer. Yeah, the pothole fixing is really not that difficult. See that, and we fill those potholes, and it's on average is around 100 to 110 per month. We're doing the potholes, which are the real potholes. But the utility failure, that the picture I saw with the manhole and all that, if really somebody going to call, they're going to call this pothole. But it's really not a pothole. It's going to take a lot more work. As for the road, there originally was like 2 to 3 million, I would say 6, 7 years back. So engineering began to increase, especially with 2016 stormwater utility, because some of the burden got shifted of the drainage. So it went to like 5 million, and now the last year and moving forward, goal is 6.5. But the payment assessment is really indicating that Augusta has to put a lot more money to even keep up the conditions we have. So one of the suggestions really I have to this body, when the Tier 3 going to come up in another 6, 7 years, we need to heavily focus on road resurfacing, maybe put all 1,100 miles in the TIA and whatever, 50, 60 million. We need to put that, because once the roads are paved, and engineering is working on part of this pavement management program to have a pavement management restoration. We don't have to resurface, but we have to kind of increase the length and the life of the road by some minor treatment to the road, so we can get other 5, 6 years out of that. But right now, most of our road really need paving. So.
And so with that, though, have all of the, well, I'm not going to ask that question, because you showed one of the sinkholes that have actually taken place. With that money that you're saying would come from TIA, would you be able to identify all of those areas and address those areas that have potential sinkholes, just for the safety of, our citizens and our communities?
So it's twofold question. The sinkhole is totally different. Really, we can't identify, because that's caused by the aging infrastructure, and they just pops up when it's failed. But yes, on the road, yes, we'll be able to. Actually, I believe GDOT will require us to provide them the list of the roads that will be paved, funded by the TIA program.
Okay. Mayor Johnson, I would like to briefly yield to Administrator Dowse. I believe she has something to add, and then I have a couple more questions.
Yes, ma'am, and thanks. Administrator Dowse.
Thank you for that. I wanted to clarify, a few moments ago, Commissioner Guilfoyle asked about utility projects. I wanted to make certain that the commission understood that Augusta Utilities projects are not included in our SPLOST 9 package. We recently were approved for an $80 million bond in which all of the utility projects will be funded from that funding mechanism. But at the same time, of course, utilities and engineering will continue to work together when projects overlap. So thank you for allowing that clarification.
Thank you, Administrator Dowse. Commissioner Pulliam, the floor is still yours.
Thank you so much, sir. My next question is, I didn't specifically see, I know we talked about first quarter Wrightsboro Road, that project continuing the next phase, but I didn't see it. Did I miss something? And that was talked about on last year. We talked about Wrightsboro Road being continued. I believe it was up to Highland Avenue, maybe?
Yeah, so that's already, Commission already provided the contract, and we have a contractor, and
Okay.
actually, I believe we have a pre-construction, so the actual work probably going to start very soon on that road. So that's already, the road work is taken care of on that, and the funding, and that is the road we're using that road as a pilot road for the solar lighting. So that corridor we'll have, and that's a separate project. It's part of the project, but we're doing separately, independent of this contractor. And John, I'm not sure he can give you more detail, but he's leading that effort. Because this outfit, which we're working with, has 1,000 lights in other areas, including Europe. And the staff actually went and nighttime and checked those areas, actually. And we were very satisfied. So we're working on that, because that will reduce the maintenance, the electric costs. And actually part of the winter spring Also, we're going to try that light. The reason we do a winter spring, really, we can get Jefferson Energy to act in a timely manner. So we kind of switching to solar and get it done.
Okay. And my last question, thank you for that. And my last question is in line with number 18. You mentioned the Turpin Hill area. I know that there was a study that is already underway. So that is already underway, and this is something separate from, or is that part of the drainage improvement studies?
Yeah, so this is part of that. We wanted, because right now that study is underway, but it's on a very slow pace because of the funding. So, we have to use the funding we have. This will help us to accelerate that process and get it to improvement or construction sooner than the way we are doing now.
So we're in the midst of the study. We just can't complete the study until we get the rest of the funding. Is that what I hear?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, right now, it's like engineering has several, drainage needs. So we only put like 100 to 150,000 or something. But if we get this money, we can put like $500,000 and get, that done and have a construction ready. That part. So.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Malik.
Thank you, Commissioner Pulliam. The chair recognizes Commissioner Francine Scott from Monet.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Dr. Malik, for your wish list. Number 3 on your project name, and you mentioned something about Georgia Power doing an audit on our lights and all that. I thought we was already in the midst of working with Georgia Power, or where are we in terms of if Georgia Power going to actually take it over? When will we have this done?
So we're hoping to get that done sometime next year. So we have to go through the procurement process. We did the RFQ, request for qualification, like open, so anybody can submit it. But the Georgia Power was the most qualified. And then we negotiated the fee. So it's going to be in the phases. The first phase is audit, and some reason she didn't show up on the June 30th, right? I mean July 30th. It's going to be on the next one. August 15th. Yeah, so it will be on August 15th to award that contract to Georgia Power to get started, the audit, and then after audit, that's where we're going to know. The taking over or buying out Augusta Lights and upgrade it, and what that cost is going to be. So, yeah, it's behind schedule, but it's coming at the next committee meeting to award that, and then next year we should have.
For a while now, but okay. And I think Commissioner Pulliam and Guilford asked most of the questions. Can we go down to number 30? Administration and engineering is still on the project name.
Oh, the engineering administration?
And you mentioned something about maintenance and salary. Is it customary that we put salary and maintenance in our SPLOST request?
Yeah, that's the. I've been here 16 years. That's always in the SPLOST, because there is a engineering maintenance team, you can call it. They are part of the SPLOST. They do the SPLOST funded work like repairs and all that, in-house forces, so all that. Then I think roughly is 1.5 million a year. We do actually have money, 6.5, and was allocated in the SPLOST 8. What I'm suggesting is, since we have ongoing discussion where to fit the workday to supervisor salary. Right now, finance is suggesting go to stormwater utility, and I'm saying, utility doesn't have fund. So there's another way where, that burden can be shifted to SPLOST. So, because SPLOST, my understanding is you can't use for the maintenance, like grass cutting or some ditch cleaning, but stormwater utility you can. So if we can spare that 400,000, or maybe gonna go up to $500,000 from there and shift there, then that's unrestricted fund for the intended purposes.
Okay, we'll probably have to come back and discuss that. Probably need to, don't want to prolong the meeting today, but I think that's something we need to look into. I'm sorry.
No problem. Thank you, Commissioner Scott. Chair recognizes Commissioner from the 3rd, Commissioner Catherine Smith-McKnight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Dr. Malik, for being here today. I got a few quick questions. When we were talking about Walton Way and Wrightsboro Road, I've noticed for quite some time between Walton Way, Belmont, Walton Way going on down, I mean, it might go on down past Richmond and further, there is a lot of flooding. When it rains, it pours, and the flooding is really bad, and the right lane, especially going down, what goes up and goes down, which, causes some hydroplane accidents along with Wrightsboro Road. There's a lot of flooding, especially going downtown on Wrightsboro Road where the water is just like a river. When will this all be taken care of when the work gets done? You said work on Walton Way will be taken, but will y'all be incorporating fixing this flooding when you're doing the work for the Walton Way, Wrightsboro Road?
So drainage improvement short answer is yes. The drainage improvement is part of the road improvement project. So it is part of the project. When we do reconstruct that road, we're going to take care of the drainage of the road same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and then also, real quick, like when we were talking about street lights, I've noticed that there are, bases, street lights that have, when you're riding up, it's not just on Walton Way, it's in other areas too, but you have the base, but you don't have the post, they're broken. And are they going to be replaced? I mean, where is this? Is this part of the SPLOST? Will any of these get replaced or because I get calls about, broken, the posts are down and it's just got the base sitting there. But when will this get replaced? Will this be in SPLOST, in the new package, to make sure that these are getting taken care of? Or is this something that I can call you and say, we need to get this taken care of? Is this going to be in SPLOST, the street light?
Yeah, so SPLOST will not take care of it. That's the other, like Walton Way corridor, because there's power line, other utilities, hard to manage, same as your 13th Street corridor. That's another, those are the two projects really should be part of the Tier 3 to move those utility underground. And then we work with the street lights and the trees accordingly. So really those two, if we can get the power line other underground, then we have a lot more room to work with. Okay. So that's really the only way city can, not only way, but that's the good way to do it through the Tier 3,
And you'll let us know, too, when all this work gets done, which trees are going to be taken down. When we do the work on Walton Way, Wrightsboro Road, I'm sure that we'll have a heads up on what's going to be taken out. Sidewalks, I know are going to be added. You'll be giving us a heads up before the work is done, correct?
Yeah, and also the Walton Way road improvement, which is, under design and all, will actually minimize this because right now there's 2 lane and very narrow. Mm-hmm. So we're going to convert 4 lanes to like 3 lane, 1 wider lane and 1 middle lane. So they have more room to kind of drive through. So hopefully that will minimize hitting the lights.
All right, and then the roads and streets, I believe Commissioner Guilfoyle might have mentioned this earlier. We're going to get, my colleague from the 2nd, roads and streets to be resurfaced and replaced. May we get you're going to get us a list of those roads that are guaranteed to be done in the SPLOST so that we'll know which roads exactly in all of our districts that are going to be repaved, resurfaced.
Yes, so I will provide the running list to Ms. Dawes, and then she can, share with you all. And as the request comes, I added there. You will see on my list. I just And even sometime I put a date when the request comes. So.
All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you, Dr. Malik.
Thank you, Commissioner McKnight. Chair recognizes Commissioner Wayne Guilfoyle from the 10.
Thank you. There's questions for the interim administrator. Ms. Dowse, the next SPLOST meeting, would that include the emergency as far as police, fire department, et cetera?
If that is the will of the body, absolutely. The only two that were planned were infrastructure and facilities, but if you would like more, then that's not a problem to schedule
Yeah, because
such.
I know we got another 6 months before this package has to be closed out. I would like to try to see what the needs, as well as the newly elect sheriff, what his wants are as well. But we got to make sure, like with the fire department, that we got enough fire trucks in there, SUVs, or et cetera, his needs. Because when it comes to first responders, that should be priority as well.
So that means that you're looking for another meeting or one
It doesn't
relating
have to
to
be-
public
we
safety in
got
the
it.
first of the year, sir?
Yes, that would be good. That would give Chief time to get his package together as well. I would like, if my colleagues wouldn't mind, this package here from the engineering touches every part of the county. If we do have to reduce anything on, I would like to try to leave this package as is for the SPLOST going forward. But if we do have to reduce, let's reduce anything as far as anything widening or anything like that. Cut the simple stuff. But I appreciate you coming before us, Dr. Malik.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Madam Administrator.
Mayor Johnson, in light of what Commissioner Guilfoyle just stated, because I've recommended to the body to consider a SPLOST averaging about $300 million, if you accept this entire package, you would only leave about $120 million, excuse me, and I said 300,000 earlier, I meant $300 million. You would only leave about $120 million for other services. So I caution you on making that decision without seeing a holistic picture, because as I've stated before, we have over $1 billion in requests.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, absolutely right. I just don't want this to be gone out of sight, out of mind, because this touches every district in Augusta. So I would like to make sure that we still focus engineering and the public safety. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Guilfoyle. Are there any questions or comments from this body, or is there anybody in the audience would like to come up and make a comment? Seeing none, if there are no questions, come on up, ma'am. Come on down. If you will, for the record, please state your name and address.
How you doing? Patricia Jeter, 4102 Elders Drive. I missed some of the work session. I just found out about it maybe an hour ago. But I may be repeating myself. You may have already discussed this. I do know that infrastructure includes sidewalks. And as you know, I live over in West Augusta near Eisenhower Crossing, where the new Kroger is, and that is one of the fastest growing areas in Augusta. And so due to the growth pattern, the growth pattern is not matching the infrastructure. We need sidewalks because we're going to be more of an ambulatory community. Once smart industry sees the revenue coming through Kroger, they're going to start putting their money where their mouth is. They're going to start coming in and wanting to build even more. We already don't have any land available, but they will find a way to get there. Nevertheless, we don't mind smart industry coming in, but we would like sidewalks to be able to walk to this industry. We're already overwhelmed with traffic, and Harper Franklin it can get really unbearable at times. So we do need some sidewalks, at the least, leading down Harper Franklin to the new Kroger. There is a development currently, townhome development currently under development. I do believe he has some plans to put sidewalks on the outside of his townhomes. But again, we need some sidewalks leading all the way down to the end, up to the light at Jimmy Dias and Harper Franklin. Because we have kids and adults who are walking to school, walking to work. Like I said, we're soon going to be a ambulatory community where we're going to have a lot of walking. People are jogging, exercising, and I love that. It shows work-life balance. So, and we do pay high taxes over there. And I'm not saying nobody else doesn't pay high taxes. I'm just saying I know our taxes are steadily increasing. And so we would like to see the infrastructure match the growth pattern over there.
Thank you, Ms. Jeter. I certainly appreciate you being here, and this body accepts that information. Certainly taken into consideration as we're having conversations around SPLOST 9 and how we provide additional services to our neighborhoods and to our residents. But just note that your concerns are well received with this body, and you're correct. That is a fast-growing portion of our community, and we'll certainly make sure to take action where needed from
Definitely.
this body. Okay?
Thank you, and I appreciate you all listening to me.
Certainly.
And I would like to come to any future work sessions. I did not know about this, but a little birdie checked on me to see if I knew about it, and I did.
Well, you made it. Thank you.
And yes, thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Is there anyone else? Seeing or hearing no one, Madam Clerk, Madam Administrator, Madam Attorney, thank you for being here. This session's hereby adjourned. Thank you so much.
Great. I appreciate it. Yeah, but